What's cracking, gang? It's your little homie, Warren G-Body. And I'm still up in the rock shop. Welcome back, gang. Welcome back to the Rock Shop Garage, man, for another edition of Rock Shop Chronicles. You know, where we pushing to get one of these amazing vehicles. Amazing G-Body's back in traffic, gang. And on the last edition of Rock Shop Chronicles, we were finishing up the Ron Francis complete rewire setup, and I think that was like seven parts, from unboxing to just the whole wiring circuit by circuit. You know, not a how-to, because I don't really do how-tos, just me turning the camera on, and this is what we're working on today. So you see it's pretty messy out here because we've been working and trying to get it cracking, man. But yeah, in that last upload, gang, we did a whole lot of work. We got some of these parts sandblasted and painted up. We got the full panel in. We ran 0 gauge from the back all the way up to the front. Still got to do the ground. And we tested all the circuits. We started doing some cosmetic stuff. Still waiting for that to completely set so we can start knocking it down and smoothing that in. And what we doing right now, gang, we just gonna kind of be all over the place with this video. We might be working on the fans. Still running a few last wires. There's some wiring that I still haven't gotten yet for this setup for the fans, and it's this whole little kit that I'm getting. It's one big wiring harness. It's going to be for the fans, it's going to be for the fuel pumps, it's going to be for the alternator, and for the flex fuel sensor. There's one big harness for that. So trying to see what I'm gonna do. I might cut another hole like right here for it so it can come out, but I kind of want to wait. We're still in, like I said, we're still in the cosmetic part of it, so still trying to plan everything out. And anybody that knows me knows that's what I'm all about. I'm all about making up diagrams for each, you know, whatever it is that I'm working on, especially with wiring. You know, I'll draw the engine bay out and all the different areas I can possibly come through to get a kind of an idea of what I want to do. Because I used to just come and attack, you know, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't like the way that is. So it's better for me to draw it out, kind of see where I want everything to go. But yeah, what I'm working on now, gang, is we're making up some ground wires. If I'm talking real soft, gang, because it's like 2 in the morning, everybody's asleep. So sorry about that. But yeah, so we're in here making up some ground wires, gang. And when I'm doing that, I try to get it cut as cleanly as possible. And I'm finding that I'm liking this style of in there. And the difference being that, see how that one's closed? And then these are open. Well, once I get it where I want it, I can stab it and it holds it in place, versus these, they'll be moving and twisting. And the way I'm trying to do this, gang, is once I get this right where I want it, I need it to stay in that position while I'm crimping it, because see how that is? So this is gonna be like flat like that, and then it's gonna curve. That's why I already got this kind of curve. It's gonna curve around this way. Well, if I don't have this other piece positioned correctly, I'll end up having to twist the wire. See, and I want it to lay in perfectly. So let me show you what I mean. So let's say if I wanted to go to that head, we'll see the head is this way. So I need this one to be flat to lay on the frame, and then I need that one to be turned towards, you know, the hole to be turned towards the way the bolt is going to go. So also I got to keep in mind how I'm going to route it. I'm going to route it along, and then where it lands, I need for the end there to be turned towards the head, or turned towards that area that I want to screw into. That way it just lays in naturally. You feel me? I don't want to have to twist and turn it, because then that can create undue stress, pressure, and then it'll pop out. You feel me? Even though this is pretty tight. But yeah, so after I make the line up, then what I would like to do is right in between here. So a couple of things I do is I'll take dielectric grease and I'll kind of just, soak the wire, slide the wire up in there, crimp it down. Now I know that, it's nice and solid. It's not going to get any crap up in there. Then I'll take this and I'll dab it all along. If there's a little bit exposed, I'll dab it all along this area right here. Let it dry up. As you can see here, so you kind of just dab it all along there. And then I'll take, once it's dried up, I'll take this, slide it up, and this is 3-to-1, and it's got glue on the inside. That way we create a nice, airtight, solid tight, seal, and we won't have any issues down the road. So, yeah, sometimes I'll dab on that open end, like right here. I'll dab a little bit right there because we don't want it to get corrosion in there, you feel me? So, it's tedious and time consuming, but in the long run, it is going to really help out and pay off in the long run, because the things I do here aren't just to get it going. Everything is for, I need this to go today and 10 years from now. And just to give you an example, I can't get to it. The condenser for this one I did back in 2010. I put my B&M oil cooler on the front, ran all my lines, everything. That was so tight. I mean, it was so nice. It took me a while to tear it apart. The whole car would have fell apart before that did. And that's what I like, man. I like ease of, so I can get to it and work on it. But I also like for the part to stand the test of time. Some of my homeboys, they'd be so excited, man. They'll just crimp stuff and go. And then later on, from the car doing what it does, the joint cracks, the bolt will back out, that type of stuff. We don't want that. We want it to actually make it, through its life of owning the vehicle and beyond. So, yeah, gang, so let me get to it. I'm going to go ahead, dab a little bit. So just to recap, what I do is I find the correct size. This hole right here is not the correct size for the bolt that's going to go through. So I'm going to have to open it up. But if you look at these, you'll see that there's some numbers on there. So the numbers will tell you what size hole this is and what size hole this is. Either going to be 5/16 or 3/8. I'm needing a 3/8 hole. That's what this is. But see, this side was, sorry gang. This side was too small. That's meant for like a 6 gauge. This is 4, and I couldn't get it all stuffed in there. So those are things to think about when you're buying these, like from Harbor Freight or wherever, Amazon, that type of stuff. You want to look at that and see what the sizes are. You feel me? But there it is, gang. Let me get to it. We're gonna dab. Just to recap, I was saying earlier. First, I strip it. I measure how much of this is gonna be up inside of there. Then I take a straight razor and I pierce it. You feel me? I just press in. And then I start rolling. First I started back here, and then I roll the wire all the way around, and then I see where the split is, where the cut is, and then I split it, and then it comes right on off. You feel me? So this is it. This took no effort to get this off. No, I just slipped it right on off. But there it is, gang. Let me get to it. And so this has been, we measured it, cut it. We put dielectric grease all on the wiring, slipped it in the joint, tightened it down. Now we're gonna put some this little liquid tape. I get it from Harbor Freight. Shout out to my man Hood Wrench for the suggestion. I've been doing this for years now. And then we slide over the 3-to-1 tape, and that's just gonna be a solid connection. Nothing's gonna get in there. All right, y'all, fading it out. All right, and we back in. So we got this one looking good. Little recap. The way I do this is, with a straight razor. Gotta be careful because it's sharp. Once I measure, I'll take the cut wire and then I'll kind of place it up right next to it so I can see how much to cut off. And then what I do is I take the razor blade, and if I'm gonna roll it that way, I'll start it here. That way, as I'm rolling it around, it'll still have, it'll roll with the length of the razor blade. And then once I get all the way around, usually when I get from edge to edge, that's all the way around the wire, 4 gauge, then I'll split it. And you can't see it on here, but it's split. And then it just pops, I kind of just wiggle and boom, it pops right off. So once we do that, then I'll take a little bit of, this is a dielectric grease I use, and I'll just kind of pump a little bit out, and I'll kind of soak the wire strands. You want to be careful, man, when you're cutting. You don't want to cut any of those strands off. You want, if you cut a whole lot of them off, you got to redo it. Don't cut them and then just have those cut strands sitting there. It's conducting electricity. Just think of it like pipes for water. The more pipes you have, the more water can flow through. You feel me? So, and this is electricity, bro. This continues the cycle so that it all goes back to the battery, grounded positive. So, but there it is. So there, once we do that, we get it in the jaws, we lock it down. And I didn't have any more of these open ones. And what I found is I actually cut this a little bit longer. And my thought is that right where this closed one pinches down, once I stabbed it up in there, that little pinched, tapered area would hold it in place. And that's exactly what it's doing. So if you look here, see, this is flat this way. This is where it's going to be on the frame. So this is going to be on the frame, and then see how it's turned towards where the head is going to go. You see what I mean? That way it just lays out real smooth. Boom, right to the head. I don't have to twist and do anything to the wire because of the way I put this on. Something else you can do is you can take a paint pen. Once you get it in position, then you would kind of just draw a line. And then, if you had to take this apart and go get it done somewhere else, then you can put it back together. The person that's going to crimp it for you, they can line those lines up and they'll get it positioned exactly where you want it. You see what I'm saying? So we got this done. I got it dielectric grease all up in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to crimp it. Then we're going to dab on some liquid tape. And then we'll let that set up. Then we'll slide this up, heat gun it, and then we'll end up with a wire like this. So you see how that one's flat? And that's something else I take into consideration. Like, I don't want it to be that way unless there's like a lip and it drops down. I want that flat portion to be as clean as possible. See, there's no heat shrink tape on there. There's no liquid tape. Nothing's on there because we want it to be clean. So we got it on the flat side there. And then that's going to be on the frame. And then when it comes up, this one's going to go this one's going to go to the left. And the bolt's going to go through here, and the head's going to be on this side. So all of that stuff I got to take into consideration. You just be wanting to go, and then when it's time to actually bolt it up, you got to twist the wire all around. And I want everything to just lay in naturally, as if that's what it was made to do. You feel me? Because that's what we're doing. We're making it to do exactly what it is that we need it to do. But yeah, gang, let me go ahead and double check and make sure that this is in the right spot. And then I'll go ahead, crimp it, black tape it, liquid tape it, and then we'll go ahead and heat shrink and be done with this whole line. This one, yeah, I gotta open up these holes a little bit. Only reason why I'm having to open them because I don't have any more that have the larger 3/8 hole. All the ones I have a smaller one. This one, nah. I gotta open it just a little bit, just a quick buzz with the drill, and that'll open it up. All right, gang, I'll bring you back in a second. All right, gang, this is what I was talking about as far as marking it. Get you a little paint pen. I got some paint pens, red, blue, purple, whatever. And then, because I crimped it, it wiped it off. But see how you can see the white line and then it connects to that one? That way you can twist this right where you need it. And if you had to get it done by, like, let's say if you didn't have a crimper and your homeboy did, and everything was apart. Once you get it how you want it, mark everything. So set it in place as if it was finished, and then draw a line across it. Now, the person that's going to, and make sure that, it's not going to come off. The person, maybe you could wrap some tape around it and then draw a line or something like that. Just get a line on it where the person that's going to crimp it for you can line those two lines back up and get it right in the spot that you need it to be in. Because that happens, man. You'll take the part, hey, I need you to crimp this, and they crimp it. and then it'll be crimped in the wrong spot. That's really, I learned that from, doing AC lines. I got an AC line crimper, and sometimes you can't do, depending on what kind of crimper you have, you can't do it on the vehicle. You got to take the part off the vehicle, set it in the vise. Now, if you crimp that piece in the wrong spot, you assed out. So that's where I get that from, is marking it from doing AC lines. But yeah, so we got it crimped. We got dielectric grease all, we got it nice and juicy, slid it up in there, and then crimped it. We line the lines up, crimped it. Then we're gonna put a little bit of that, I'm gonna wipe that off. We're gonna put some of this liquid tape on, let that dry, slide this tape. That's one thing, don't forget to put that on, and slide this up. And once it's dry, I might put a little bit more grease on it to help this tape, the triple 3-to-1 tapes, slide up and get past all these little ridges and stuff. And then heat shrink it, and we good. So let me get back to that, and I'll bring you back in with the finished product. Get them Harbor Freight specials. All right, gang, so I got some little bits here, little carbide bits, little eBay or Amazon joints. They work for these little kind of projects. You'll see I got it opened up. Basically, I found one that I know is 3/8, and then I kind of just slipped it on there. And I was like, oh yeah, once I get to that point right there, that's when I know the hole will be good enough. And I got one of the bolts that are already in the nutsert, and I just drill it out slowly until, I just keep checking. Like I said, this is very tedious. You gotta do a little bit, check, do a little bit, check, do a little bit, check. You feel me? Normally I have gloves on because those little metal pieces will get up in your fingers. But yeah, so we still got enough meat left, and that'll work, gang. Yeah, that'll work out real nice. I also have like a little washer, just something that'll, so we got nice solid connection. So let me get to the other side and get that opened up, and then I'll bring you guys back in. Yes, sir. All right, and there we go. Now, the way I like to do this, gang, is I'm gonna use this as an example. So what I do is I'll find a washer that, see the thickness right there? I want it to be the same thickness as the, see that little lip right there? I want it to be the same thickness as that lip. And then I'll drill the hole out once I figure out what the diameter of this is from the nutsert from edge to edge. I'll open that hole up so that this sits down in there flush. Right now, it's not sitting flush. See, it's kind of sitting on top of the washer, but I want the washer to sit around the outer edge. That way now, all of this is ground on the frame. You feel me? Then we'll move into this one. Then we'll put the ground wire on, and then we'll have another washer. And see what I mean? Now it's sandwiched in between. It's grounded. You feel me? The final thing I'll end up doing once all these are done is I'm gonna put a couple of tacks around it, so that first I'll tack this down, and then I'll tack the nutsert to the washer, and now it's not gonna go anywhere. It'll never spin. You feel me? So, but that's it, gang. Here it is. Let me get these installed, and I'm probably gonna end the vid. This one was more about making ground wires up, how I go about doing it. So, yeah, we'll get these placed in, and I'll bring you guys back in. Now, well, you know what? I'm gonna fade it out, get this set up, and then I'll bring you guys back in. Yes, sir. All right. Something else I like to do, man, is on the multimeter, it has this one little, so you can check if the continuity on the wire. You feel me? And so I like to check the ohm on the wire to make sure the wire is good. I've done that, but now I want to make sure it's continuous all the way through. So what I'll do is I have the black one. I kind of got this sitting on there so I can hold it. And you should hear a beep. You'll see. And we're good. Now I know this wire is real good because it went all the way to 0. But check this out. See, because that's touching the stainless steel, this should, yeah, see, it's connected. Yeah, so I know this is gonna be a good ground wire, but all the wires get tested like that. We'll also do an ohm. I think I'll put that on 200, and then we will touch I must have shifted. Yeah, it came out. But I'll check the ohms on it as well, gang. So I know all the wires are good. And once I connect them, I go through each point. So I'll start from the star. And when I say star, that's basically from the battery up to one point. And then from that one point, everything goes out from there. So that creates a star system. So it'll go from 0 gauge from the battery up to its mounting point, and then want to go to one head, want to go to another head. One's already at the frame, want to go down to the engine. You see what I mean? And then from there, it'll star out from there. And all of them are tight connections because you don't want a ground to back out. Let's say if you had all your grounds back out and you have one little bitty ground, that is now going to become ground for the system, and it could be some big problems there. So, but yeah, gang, this is why we trying to make sure this is all right and tight. There's a whole science behind this. But yeah, now that I know this is good, we'll go ahead and get it mounted. I'll bring you guys in and we'll close the video out. Yes, sir. All right, gang, we got some good grounds going on. That one, I might take that nut cert out and just use a nut and bolt. But yeah, got some really good grounds going on, all 4 gauge. And then we got the actual ground strap from the Ron Francis wiring kit going down. You see everything is clean to bare metal. We got another one going up to the back of the head. And same thing over here, gang. We got 4 gauge coming from the frame up to the motor. Then we have 4 gauge coming off here. I haven't done that one yet, but it's gonna go. You see how I got that already positioned? This is what I was talking about. You wanna make sure you got those lugs positioned correctly so you don't have to twist the wire. See how it just lays right in spot? So this one was flat, and then that one turned flat that way because the bolt's gonna go in. So we gotta get that going. I gotta get this wheel off so I can get the crimper in, or I could just clean it all up and then use a washer and nut and just tighten it down. But yeah, then we got one going to the back of the head. I haven't tightened it down yet. But I was gonna close the video out, but I think what I'm gonna do, man, is 6:30. I'm gonna head up to Home Depot, and we're gonna grab the 0 gauge ground from there. We're gonna hook that into the battery, run it all along, and connect it in. So 0 gauge to this point, from here out to the head, out to the block, up to the core support, from the frame to the block, frame to the firewall, frame to the block. See what I mean? To the head. So you see what I mean? So we got both heads done, both sides of the block done, both sides of the frame are done, 0 gauge from the battery coming on up, and I tested it to make sure we had continuity all the way through, and she grounded. So let me go on up there, gang, throw some clothes on. You know your boy out here in his PJs. Getting it, you know, you gotta want it. Getting it in. I'm gonna head up there, get that 0 gauge going, and then we gonna put the new battery terminals on. The one that's back there right now, I just made up to get it going. But now we're actually starting to get everything in place where we want it. So, yeah. We're gonna get these guys right here. And then see, we got a 0 and a 4 gauge. So I'm gonna do 0. Probably have to get an adapter. I'm not sure about, well, the one thing about the Home Depot 0 gauge is that it should fit up inside that 4 gauge. But we're gonna use a ferro anyway, so, and I'll show you what that is. Yeah, I won't close it out yet, gang. I'm gonna show you what the ferros are and what I use those for. And I might have some, nah, but yeah, my next fade in, we would have went up to Home Depot, got the wire bin back, get back, and then I'll show you what the ferro is, and then we'll close the video on out. And yeah, gang, all right, y'all, fading it out.
Several days later.
And we back in, gang. All right, y'all, your boy got lazy. I still have not went and picked up the 0 gauge ground. It's waiting for me to pick it up. But yeah, gang, so this is back after work. We had some stuff going on. I could not mess around with the car stuff, but we back here. I got off work and we back out here, gang. So what we're working on now is the front harness and headlight harness. And for some reason, I could not get this one to work correctly. I don't know. I might have to tear it open and see what's going on with it. feel me? It's something I put together a long time ago, and that one I could never get to work right. So I have another one that I put together that, I bought it, and then I went through and all their joints, all the connections and stuff were loose, so I tightened some stuff up. I'm gonna have to just rip this one back open and see what's going on. At first I thought it was a fuse, swap fuses out. It's just not, I'm not getting a high beam on it. So we did some stuff here, gang. We went ahead, broke out another one that I know works for sure, and we kind of got it all rigged up so everything comes on. Now, as stated before, when you first pull the stalk, boom, you get power to your red eye and your daytime running lights. Those come on right away. But as soon as you end your parking lights, so I get all power going to the back. Everywhere there's going to be parking lights, all that cuts on. But as soon as you pull to turn the headlights on, they cut out. And the reason for that is they send this out pre-wired that way. I don't know why they do that, but it's pre-wired that way. So what we did, and this is straight from Ron Francis. So where is it? So when you look at it, you got this one here, and then you got this one right here. These are the wires that are going out into the engine bay. One's going to be your left side and one's going to be your right side. So I just need this one right here, which is going to be that one right there. I need to take an orange pick, pop that out, and what we're going to do is we're going to move it over to this one right here. And so basically removing it from this prong here and removing it over to that prong right there. And that's the one that's going to give me the power. So for some reason, when I pull the stalk, this one charges up. But as soon as I pull it to turn the headlights on, boom, it kills power to that one. So we want to move it over to this guy right here. And if you look, you'll see how this is tied. You got that little copper little connector to tie up both of those together. That's it right there. Well, this one goes live, and so does that one. But because they got it on pre-wired on this one, when you pull to turn the headlights on, it kills power to that one. So we need to pop that out, and all I got to do is take that pick, slide it down this little notch area, and it's going to flatten this little prong down. And then I can slide that one out, then flare the prong back out, slide it down into the one that I need to do it, the correct one, and we good to go. So let me get after that, gang, and I'll plug the battery back up. The battery's been disconnected, and we'll bring you back in. Yes, sir. All right, and we back in. Look right where my finger is. See that little guy right there? Yeah, that's the tang I was talking about. So when I slide it down into this connector, and we're gonna go with this one right here. Right there, see that little notched area right there? At the end of that, it's a flat area. And when you push that in, you put that little knot, you put that little tang that's popped out right down in that area. And when it slides down, it's gonna hit a flat spot. And then boom. That way, when you push in, it clicks and it won't allow the wire to push back out. You feel me? And the only way that you can get that out is you gotta use a little pick and depress that in so that it clears that flat spot that's down in here, that little lip that's down in here, and then it'll allow you to pull it out. So I can't do it with one hand. So let me go ahead and get that going, and then we'll test it out, and I'll bring you guys back in. All right, we are back in. So I'm just going through and double checking to make sure I got everything lined up. And this is where I love little stuff like this, because it makes it safe and easy to make connections, you feel me? So on these headlights, that's where the daytime running lights are on the red eye. So basically my parking lamps are running into here, and then and then out to both of them. So I had to make some little connectors to connect to them. See what I mean? The same thing on the other side. And just for testing purposes, that kind of stuff is perfect. It's safe, it's neat, it's clean. And I got these off of Amazon. Yeah. All right, so we made the connection, and now battery's connected. Let's go ahead and pull the stock, see what we got. Switch. And right away, I see we got some action. Oh yeah, now we got all 4 parking lights are on. You can see the demon eye is red. Now when I pull the headlight switch again, that's normally when it kills out. And I don't even know what that feature is for, but that's how it comes pre-wired. Now let's go ahead and pull it. And this is where all the power usually kills to the parking lamps. So for the tail lights, those are normally out. All the power is killed. But now with switching it, you see here we are good. We still got the red eye going. I can see the red in there. We got the city light going. Yeah, that's clean. Now, when you pull the stalk up here for high beams, that's when the red eye kills out and then the high beam comes on. So let's see what happens. Oh yeah, there we go. I can already tell. Yep. So now we got, it looks like we still got the red eye going. Yeah, it's just a higher beam now, but the red eye is still going. Let me see. Oh yeah. So look right here and right there, and you'll see. Pull the stock and you'll see it drop out. Then I'm gonna pull it again and it drops back in. Oh yeah. So we all the way live there. See, now that I know this is working, now I can make it look real pretty and get everything going there. Also got some Alex Tech that came in. Some black. I'm gonna get some black and red as well. It's black with little red lines going through it, so that'll indicate power for me. But yeah, gang. So I still got to get up in the morning, head on up and grab the ground. But yeah, man, I think I'll go ahead and end the video here. So basically everything is working as far as the tail lights now, or as far as the headlights. Now on the tail lights, I have the stock harness back there. I can connect into that and then put some bulbs in and hook up my hook the tail lights up just to check that, and I'll do that in another video, gang. But yeah, we got power coming back, so power is definitely coming through these wires right now. So the ends are capped off, that's why I'm not worried about it. But there it is, gang. I'm drug this video off long enough. Definitely got juice. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, we good to go. So there it is, gang. It's your little homie Warren G Body up in the rock shop, repping 80s, getting the detox boost. We getting closer and closer, gang, as we most definitely keep it shifty.